Swagatam Adya Brihaspativasalah Sayankalah Raghuvamsha Kavyam Dvadasha Sargaha Eka Chatvarimsha Shlokaha. So 41st shloka of the 12th Sarga. Prathamataha Mangalacharanam Kartavyam Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishacharchamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhutame Bho Rama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnama Iti Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani Ai Un Rulruk E Ong Ai Auch Hayavarat Lan Nyamanga Na Nam Jabang Gadadash Jabagadash Kapha Chata Tsacha Tatav Kapai Sha Sarhal. Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. The last class we finished up the shloka Eka Chatvarimshaha, the 41st shloka, and let's see where we were. Okay. We on this last question about this usage of atarjayad, tavatarjayad ambare. So Shurpanakha threatened the two of them, Rama Lakshmana, ambare sthita sati. So situated in the sky, she threatened two of them. The question here is that this atarjayat is clearly a prasipada pratyaha. I think I put in document here. Like let me say abhavat. Okay, let's look at the document. I think I have it here somewhere. Let's see. This is verse 41. Atarjayat. Okay. Right. Okay. Now this dhatu is tarja santarjane. It is in the churadi ganaha, dashama ganaha. And as you know, churadi ganaha we'll see in the next Saturday class in detail. We get swarthe nicha. Churadibhyo Nitya, Swarthe Nitya. And that one is 3125, Satyapapasha Ityadi, Churadibhyo Swarthe Nitya. So those dhatus which take the Nich Pratyaha without changing their meaning, Artha Parivartanam Vina, without changing the meaning, they are called Churadi dhatus. And they form the so-called Dashama Ganaha, the Charama Ganaha, the last Gana of dhatus. You take the niche without changing their meaning. Normally, any dhatu can take the niche pratyaha in the sense of hetumaticha, when the hetu is involved. Now, hetu is a technical term which Panini defines in the karake. Says tat prayojako hetushcha, which is in 1.4.23 starts the adhikara of karake. One thing we do in this class a lot is always keep in track of the ashtadhyayas. So this karake adhikara starts here, and there is this Swatantra Karta. Who is a Karta? Swatantraha. The one who can act not independent of everything else. Everything depends on the Karta, the karma and this and that, but the Karta is independent. But that prayojako hetushcha. A hetu is someone who propels, instigates, or makes the Karta do something. I mean, such a hetu is there, then nich pratyaya has to be used after that dhatu. Like, for example, Balakaha Patati, it says Guruho Balakam Pathayati. He makes the student study. So that he makes him study. So that is normally you have after any dhatu you can get hetumaticha. But for the Churadigana dhatu, Churadibhyo Nich, it says when the Pani doesn't say in which meaning it takes, it becomes Swarthe. Swarthe Nich. So all that was fine. So dhatu here is as you see in the document, it is the Tarja Santarjane, and as I think Vasu said last class, the word Tarjani comes from that. Tarjani comes from this sutram over here. Again, that is not the issue right now, but the word Tarjani is a common word. Tarjani is a common word. It comes from this sutram Karanadikaranayoscha. Pratya Lyut is used. So Tarjate Anayati Tarjani. That by which you threaten somebody, you know. So it's a Karanarthe Lyut. Now the question that, let's see what the problem here is. That there's no problem so far. The nish pratyaya has come over here. Take dhatu taraj, of course upadeshe jananasika it, remove the anunasika karaha, add the pratyaya nich. There's no guna vriddhi possible here because the upadha is the repha. So just it becomes tarji by chutu halantyam. Then tarji gets the dhatu sanya, sanadyanta dhatavaha. Sanadyanta dhatavaha. Anytime you see a sutram in this area from 315, which is the starts with the sun pratyaya, Panini starts with that, and guptij kidbhya sun up to the 3131 ayadaya ardha keva, those all get the dhatu sanya, derived dhatu, sanadyanta dhatavaha. In our daily examples, we have seen this sutram ending. We'll see some more. This niche comes in that section. So this tarji gets the dhatu sanya, sanadyanta dhatavaha. And then atarjayat is nothing special. You add the tip pratyaya, you get itascha by 3-4, just like you get abhavat, same thing, atarjayat, very very similar. Only thing you'll have the tip pratyaya, itascha by 3-4, 100. Now all these are not put in document because these are known to us already from the daily examples. I have not put all the detailed step, and I think we had the form ayojayat before in this class also. So if you look at ayojayat, let's look at ayojayat. Okay, ayojayat, here it is. So ayojayat, we had the form when we had, in this case atarjayat, same thing. We have tarji instead of yoji. Then we get the lang pratyaya, anadyatane lang. Add the pratyaya tip by tip tajji, etc. Then the anubandha lopaha, halantyam, itascha. This is a nit lakaraha. So the ending ikaraha of parasnipadam takes lopaha. As I mentioned to many times, this 3478 should be taken as a whole section of rules, not an individual rule, because 3478 opens up this whole section of this lasyadikaraha. So all these rules form one unit, so to speak. So these rules from 3478 to end of 34 should be applied immediately after applying the default. So 3478 only sets the default pratyaya. It's Ussarga Sutram. So it's Ussargaha. But then come all these rules which are Lakara Sambandhi Adeshaha. They all come and they change the pratyaya. So that's always should be a good habit for us, is that after 3478, do not leave 34, complete all of 34 before going anywhere else. So this is itascha. And then after that, kartari shap comes in there. Then you get sarvadhatuka, ardhadhatuka yoho, gunadesha, echo yava yavaha. And then anubandha lopaha, lashakvatadite halantyam. We get ayojayat, atarjayat. Everything was fine. But the problem here is that, let's look at the dhatu tarji in the dhatu pataha. So dhatu pataha, let me go back down here now. Go to verse 41. This became a large document. I'm trying to search for that. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. So everything was fine. But now the issue is that, should this dhatu be taking parasnipada pratyaya, should be taking a atmanipada pratyaya? That is the whole issue here. And if you look at this dhatu number 201 in the dhatu partha, I just pulled up this dhatu partha document for us. Let's look at the churadi ganaha and look at the dhatu tarj, what it has, 201. You can see it has anudatta swaraha on the it letter. This dhatu tarja has anudatta swaraha on the it letter. So that means that anudattagnyata atmanepadam should have taken atmanepadam. Clearly in this case it has taken a parasnipada pratyaya, as we can clearly see. Pratyaya being used is tip because of laf parasnipadam tangana atmanepadam. So tip is atmanepadam. So what now Balinatha is describing to us is that, how can we justify this usage of parasnipadam? So let's look at what he says. Says that atarjayad, abhartsayad, that is fine, means to threaten. Bhartsanam also is to kind of scold somebody. Tarja bhartsane iti dhatoho. So after this dhatu, chauradikam belongs to churadikanaha, chauradikat, anudattetvat. Anudattetvat means that it has anudatte. We just saw that. The ending akara has anudatta swaraha. Atmane padena bhavyam. This is also a very common thing in this language. Is see what happens when we translate from English to Sanskritam blindly. We lose some of these good usages which are in this language. You would never say this in English like that. What this means is that Atmane padena bhavyam. It should be been by the Atmane padam. Atmane padena bhavyam. This is a passive. This is a bhave prayogaha. Means the action of being should be done by the Atmane padam. Basically, it means that Atmane padam bhavet. Instead of that, say Atmane padena bhavyam. This is something which we need to learn, that we can use this dhatu bhu in a bhave prayogaha. Example, let's take a quick example. Let's say we have to say in Sanskritam, there should be a num agama here. Normally you should say in English, you say there should be a num agama over here. You would not say that it should be been by the num agama. Though technically I guess it may be possible. So you can say atra num agamo bhavet. Or even better, atra numa bhavyam. Atra numa bhavyam. So it should be been by the num agama. So the action of being should be done by the num agama. So this is a passive usage which we should get used to. It's idiomatic. It's special to this language, which is that you use a bhave prayogaha with this dhatu bhu. And this will be used a lot, like in, by the bhashyakaraha, tikaka, they will use this a lot. If you're not used to this kind of use, that's the whole purpose of this class, is to understand the commentary. So if you're not used to this usage, you may get stumped by what is he trying to say. So this was for iti dhatu. So tarja bhartsane iti dhatu. So following this dhatu, chauradikat panchami belongs to churadigana. Chauradika tadhita from churadi. So churado bhavaha chauradikaha. So which occurs in churadigana is chauradika. So churadigane bhavaha. Churado bhavaha chauradikaha. So chauradikat. It's qualified in this dhatu. So this is dhatu. It belongs to churadigana. Following that dhatu, anudattetvat. Because this dhatu anudatta it, atmane padena bhavyam, which means that it should be been by the atmane pada pratyaya. Means in English, the atmane pratyaya should be here, should be used here. Tathapi, which has not, clearly it has not been used here. Tathapi, now look at, this is the important thing. I think we had this in a daily example somewhere. I didn't find the post for you. Maybe I should find it somewhere. But tathapi, chakshingo nitkaranad. Let's go next page. Chakshing. Now, why are we jumping to dhatu chakshing? Let's go to there for a second so we can give you a heads up of what's happening here. Is that this is dhatu chakshing, means to kind of to tell, to narrate. It's in the adadiganaha. So what's the connection between this dhatu and chakshing? The connection is as follows. If you look at dhatu chakshing, it is here. Here it is, chakshing. Let's see. I just found it. Here, chakshing vyaktayam vachi means to coherent speech, not just noise, but coherent speech. This chakshing has a kavarga panchama as an it. Chakshing. It also has a anudatta it. The question is that why did Panini put anudatta it? It's not necessary, because by anudatta jnata atmane padam purvameva praptam. Atmane padam was already available by this anudatta jnata atmane padam. This dhatu is a jnit. Then why has Panini put the actually the other way around, I'm sorry. This dhatu already is anudatta it. Then what's the reason for putting the nga as an it in this dhatu? Because we don't need that, because this projanam of this nit is to force the atmane padam. But that was not necessary, because you already had anudatta it. So anudatta gnita atmane padam, it should already take an atmane padam pratyaya. Then what is the point of Panini putting the nga as an it? That is taken as a nyapakam, is an indication that this anudatta gnita is not always sufficient to guarantee atmane padam. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, you have a number of such usages. You take, For example, Ma Manusmara Yudhya Cha. The word Yudhya in Gita. Now Yudhya, this dhatu Yudh, if you take let me see, let me find the Gita example for you. This dhatu Yudh is, I believe, a Anudat it. So it is from chapter 8. Ma Manusmara Yudhya Cha. Chapter 8. Ma Manusmara Yudhya Cha. Let's see. Yeah, Yudhya Cha. Look at this. Yudhya Prayogaha. This is a Pasimada Pratyaya. Yudhya. Should be Yudhyasva. That also comes in Gita. Yudhyasva Vigata Jvaraha. But how has Yudhya been used? Because this is Parasyapadam. Because Ato He has happened over here. You become Yudhya. Similarly, Yatato Yapi Kaunteya Purushasya Vipaschitaha Indriyani Pramathini Haranti Prasabham Manaha. Chapter 2 of Gita. You have this dhatu, Yati is the dhatu. And that also, here it comes in Gita chapter 2, is here. Yatato Yapi Kaunte. This is also Pratyaya Shatra has been used over here. This is also a Anudat it. I'll double check that where it is. So now how come in all these places in Gita, and there are others also, not only these, others also. Now how can we justify the Parasya Padam in spite of the fact that it should be Atmanipadam? That is the whole question. So this is, even though we are looking at one usage in Raghuvamsha Kavyam here, it's a more general issue of justifying a Parasyapadam affix when the dhatu is Anudat it. That's the whole crux of the issue, is to justify a Parasyapadam affix when actually Atmanipadam should have been used by Anudat Gnita Atmanipadam. So if dhatu Anudat it, how can we justify? Okay, so let's follow what Malinatha is saying. Now with that background, what he's saying is that Tathapi Chakshingo Nit Karanat. Dhatu Chakshing already had Anudat it. On top of that, it has been made a Kavarga Panchama Nit. Nyapakat, that's a Nyapakam. That Anudat it does not guarantee Atmanipadam all the time. Nyapakad Anudat itva nimittasya anityatvat parasya padam ujyam iti uktam akhyata chandrikayam. This is like a commentary on dhatu on dhatus. So akhyata chandrikayam uktam. So let's see if you can. I hope you followed that. So what he said is that, one more time, let's start from the beginning. He says tarja bhartsane iti dhatoho chauradikad anudatetvat atmane padena bhavyam. There should have been an atmane pada affix being used here. Tathapi, even so, chakshingo nitkaranat, because in the dhatu pada dhatu chakshing is anudat it. In spite of that, it has also been made into a kavarga panchama as an it. So that is a nyapakam, which tells us that nyapakat anudatetva nimittasya nityatvat. Anudat it is anityam in producing atmanipadam. Anudatta itva nimittasya nityatva. That nimittam of anudatta it is anityam. Anityatvat. Parasya padam ujyam. Ujyam means uha is to you have to surmise, you have to guess, you have to deduce, you have to figure out. It should be figured out. This parasya padam has been used because of the fact that the anudatta it is not a guarantee. Is anityat. Anudatta itva nimittasya nityatvat. That's anityam. Iti uktam akhyata chandrikayam. So this is a work on dhatus, and that it has been clarified. This is also in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, of course you can expect that. So in all these places. And then below that is which has given tarjayate, bhartsayate, tarjayati ityapi cha drishyate kavishu iti. So the poets also use this tarjayate form. Atmanipadam, that is what has been given. Let's see. Okay, there's a small typo here. Should be nyapakad. Should be not nyapakad. Nyapakadanu. Not nyapakadanu. Should be nyapakadanu. This book has some typos. Nyapakadanu. Nyapakad. Anudatetva nimittasya anityatvat. Parasya padam ujyam iti uktam akhyata chandrikayam tarjayate Varsayate tarjayati ityapi drishyate kavishuti. So that's what this whole discussion was. So you see now, if you know grammar, we can follow the discussions of what the Tikakara is giving us. So this enables us to understand, well, this point has already been covered in daily examples. We already have it in daily examples. You can search that. We have that. So one more time is that this is a usage which we see here. This dhatu tarja, anudat it dhatu should have taken atmanipadam, but in the form atarjayat, Kalidasa used parasnipadam. We can justify that on the basis of the nyapakam. A chakshing was made a nit that becomes a nyapakam that to force Atmanipadam, to guarantee Atmanipadam, it was made a nit. So that tells us that the anudat, it is not always a guarantee that Atmanipadam has to be used. Sometimes Prasnipadam can be used. Anudat itva nimittasya anityatvat. Okay. That was the whole discussion about that. But this is not only, as I said, this is used, see, if it's not such an important point, Mulinatha would not make such a big deal out of it. But this is an important point. I give you examples in Gita also. We have to use this. Even in actually even in Bhagavad Gita commentaries, this point has been made by the commentator. That this is how you can justify. The first time in the Gita, when this phenomenon occurs, that where there should be Apanipadam, Parasnipadam has to be used, the commentator will make this comment. Okay. So remember this. Remember this this nyapakam, which is that chakshingaha nitkaranat nyapakat anudattetva nimittasya nityatvat. Okay. Let's go to the next verse now, number 42. Prapya chashu janasthanam kharadibhyas tatha vidham ramopakramam machakhyau rakshah paribhavam navam. Prapya chashu janasthanam kharadibhyas tatha vidham ramopakramam achakhyau rakshah paribhavan navam. Padacheda is prapya cha ashu janasthanam kharadibhyah tatha vidham. Now this could have been a pruthak padam, tatha, but if you make tatha as pruthak padam, then vidham will not stand really, because the dhatu, the nama shabda is vidha. Vidha is a manner or style, you know. So that the fact that it's become tatha vidham, you will know that, you know, this has to be a compound. Ramopakramam achakhyau rakshah paribhavam navam. Even rakshah could have been a pruthak padam, rakshas pratipadikam, just like manas pratipadikam, rakshah rakshasi rakshansi. But then if you look at the meaning, you know, this raksha as a dvitiya or prathama ekavachanam will not fit the context. So sandarbha jnayate idam samastam padamiti. So this is samastam padam. Okay. As usual, let us try to look at the tingantam padam. Always anchor your thoughts on the tingantam padam. Make that the stake. That is the stake which holds the entire vakyam together. So always put the, like Shankusthāpanam, you know, the Shankusthāpanam you do. That is the tingantam padam. So that is achakhyau. And achakhyau comes at the very end. There is no commentary on that achakhyau. Now in Bhagavad Gita you have that. This is the Shankham Dadmau Pratapavan. Shankham Dadmau Pratapavan. Tasya Sanjanayan Harasham Kuru Vriddhaf Pitamahaha. Here it is. Shankham Dadmau Pratapavan. This achakhyau, something similar. This dhatu is dhamma. And achakhyau is a dhatu is kya. So the similar usage. So this is lit lakaraha. Uttam purusha ekavachanam. I think we have seen this sutram before. Just go to document quickly and we can look at that. So achakhyau is dhatu is kya prakathane, is to narrate. Achakhyau means to narrate, to tell, to describe. So kya prakathane means to describe, to tell, not to katha. So kya plus lit, the usual steps, parokshe lit. Within the next few weeks now in our Saturday class, daily examples, we should be covering lit lakaraha. So this will be a good background for you. So parokshe lit. So bhutarthe parokshe lit. when an action done in the past which has not been experienced by the doer, lit pratyaya is used. Then kya plus tip, usual anubandha lopaha, tip tasji. And because sutram litcha makes this tip as a ardhadhatuka pratyaya. Normally you have things is sarvadhatukam, but because sutram litcha, which comes, so normally we use these two rules, which is ting shit sarvadhatukam, ardhadhatukam sheshaha. The next sutram is litcha. So lit adesha tipadayaha. Ardhadhatuka sanyakaha bhavanti. They get the sanya of ardhadhatukam. So even though ting shit sarvadhatukam, with the ting pratyaya comes in place of lit, then it takes sanya ardhadhatukam. Remember, kartari shap is only sarvadhatuke. Kartari shap is sarva. These are some fundamental concepts which I have mentioned before. Always keep these fundamental things in mind. This kartari shap is only sarvadhatuke. So there's no, even though this is kartari, this is not sarvadhatuke. This tip has now got sanya of ardhadhatukam. There's no kartari shap. So, and then we get the pratyaya null. Prasya padanam null atus thal atus null vamaha. So when lit lakaraha is the when in lit lakaraha, the stip tasji immediately change their forms to become null atus etc. So by 3482, again this is the same example, is that we should treat that 3478 as an entire section. These are only defaults. These are only defaults. They do change based on the lakara many times. And this is a nice example. So litaha parasya padanam null atus yatha sankhya. So tip becomes null. And then abhyasakaryam litidha toran abhyasasya. So becomes kya. After that rasvaha. Then haladisheshaha kya. This is, I'm assuming we know all these now. Rasvaha haladisheshaha. So this entire section about, Attalopa Abhyasasya, from that Abhyasasya Anuvritti goes down. This is a very important section. We should always keep this in mind. Abhyasasya. So what are the operations to be done in the Abhyasa Bhaga? That comes in this section. So one simple sutram is Rasvaha, Haladisheshaha, and then Kuhoshchuho. Not to be confused with Kuhochuho. Chohokuhu, I'm sorry. So Chohokuhu is Jali Padante. Chavarga takes a Kavargadisha. This is Kuhoshchuho. Kuhosh in the Abhyasa Bhagaha, the Kavargaha and the Hakara take the Chavargadisha. So Ka becomes Cha by the Sthanyantartama, the closest substitute. So it becomes a Chakaraha. And then then we get the Vriddhi Adeshaha. Before that we get this Ata Au Nalaha. That's the main sutram. Everything else is Samanyam. All these rules from this, Parokshe Lit, Tiptajji, Litcha, Kartari Shap is stopped, Nalatus Us, then Litidhaturana Bhyasasya, Rasvaha, Haladisheshaha. These will be used in all of the context also. Kuhoshchuho, Kharicha, Vridhirechi. But this one is now, see the sutram which has the smallest domain requires the greatest attention from us. Because that's which is going to occur the least number of times. Tatra kartavyo yatnaha. Tatra kartavyo yatnaha. In that sutram you have to make an effort to understand that sutram. Because a sutram like, Vridhirechi or, Abhyase Church, this is Abhyase Church. It's also quite common. So these are going to come in many, many places, all of these. But this one, Ata Au Nalaha, that requires special, because that will only come when you have Adantam Mangam, followed by the null Pratyaha. That we are getting to smaller, and so always keep track of how big is the domain of this sutram. And that will tell you that how much attention you need to pay to that. Or maybe you can also ignore it if you think it's not important for you in that context. This Ata Au Nalaha only come when Dhatu ends in the Akaraha. So when you have very simple sutram, Ata Au Nalaha. So following Adanta Dhatu, Adanta Mangam, the null pratyaya becomes Au. Ata Au Nalaha. Ata Au Nalaha. Ata Au Nalaha. So this is Adanta Dhator Nalaha Aukaradesha Syat. And then we get Chakhyau by Buddhirechi and Abhyase Charcha. In Abhyasa the prana is lost, the Cha becomes Cha. So Abhyase. So Chakhyau means she narrated. So that becomes the central point of the shloka, is that Shurpanakha narrated. Narrated to whom? Now, who narrated? There is Shurpanakha, because it is continued from the prior shloka, that is Sandarbha, because here we don't have a Prathamantam Padam, we don't have it. So this here take from the Anuvritti of Shurpanakha is coming. Now Rakshasi Shurpanakha. Then Kebhya Chakhyau, she told, whom did she tell? Kharadibhyaha. So Kharaha Adir Yesham Te Rakshobhyaha Rakshasebhyaha Achakhyau. So Shurpanakha narrated, described to Khara, etc. So all these Rakshasas headed by Khara. Now what did she, now there's also a here in the meanwhile we can finish up this clause. Look at the word Prapya. Comes in Gita. The moment you have a word which comes in the Gita, always look at the Gita shloka, what it says. The Gita should be settling in your brain at all times. You should be scanning the Gita mentally at all times. You say Prapya comes in chapter 6. Prapya punyakrutan loka nushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam shrimatangehe yoga bhrashto bhijayate. Yoga bhrashtaha, one who has not achieved perfection in yoga. Prapya punyakrutan loka nushitva shashvati samaha, having obtained the world of the meritorious and having dwelt there for endless years. Then Shuchinam Shrimatangehe Yoga Bhrashto Vijayate. He is again born in the family of the pure and the illustrious. So Prapya. Prapya means having obtained, having reached, having obtained, having reached. Dhatu is ap, obviously. Same in English, apnoti. English is to obtain. The word English word obtain is apnoti, to obtain. So Prapya. These are usual steps. These have been seen in daily examples many times. So I didn't put all the steps, but Dhatu is here. So Prapya means that first you use Samana Kritikayoho Purvakale, Pratyay Sktva, and when you do a Samastam Padam after that, because Kugati Pradayaha, then we get Samasanyam Purve Ktvolyap. Samasanyam Purve Ktvolyap. The Ktva takes a Lyappa Desha, we get the form Prapya, of course by Akasama Dirgha. So Prapya is having reached. So we have a Samana Karta, in this case Samana Kartri, who's doing two actions. So you know the Pratyak Tva has come here. The Tva became Lyappa Desha, because this is Samastam Padam. Kugati Paradeha, Gati Samasa was formed. So in place of Ktva, Lyap came. We've seen this many times. So now clearly, so this puts a good structure on the shloka. Good structure. So this is a nice thing. So immediately now try to fix in your mind who is the common doer. Clearly Shurpanakha. Because Uttaravartini Kriya, because whoever is the common doer is going to be, of course, the doer of the later action. And Achakya is the later action. And we already figured out that Shurpanakha Rakshasi is the Kartri of the Uttaravartini Kriya. So she has to be the doer of this action also now. So having quickly reached, see these connecting words in Sanskritam, they occur one word later than in English. In English you would start the sentence with and having reached Janasthanam, the territory called Janasthanam. So, but in Sanskritam we say Prapya cha. So now even Ashu comes in Gita. Here it is. Let's see, in Gita, it does come in the Gita, Ashu, let's see the word, Ashu, I should remember this, no, Ashu, Shubhashu Palerevam. See, if you don't practice Gita, this is what happened. I should know this on top of my head, I know it when I see it. Prasanna Chetaso Yashu. Prasanna Chetaso Yashu. Buddhif Paryavatishtate. Comes in Gita. Chapter 2. You have to have Prasanna Chetas for that. Cheta for that. Prasanna Chetaha Janati. One whose mind is clear. Prasanna Chetaso Yashu. Buddhif Paryavatishtate. Comes in Gita and towards the end of chapter 2. Here it is. Prasanna chetaso yashu buddhif paryavatishthate. For one whose mind is clear, pleasant mind, his intellect becomes firm, steady. Prasanna chetaso yashu. So here means indeed, quickly. Ashu means quickly. Shighram, tatkalam, sadhyah. So it means quickly. So this comes in Gita. Prasanna chetaso yashu buddhif paryavatishthate. So same thing here. So ashu prapya janasthanam. Having reached janasthanam quickly. She narrated to Khara, etc. Now what did she narrate? Rakshaha paribhavam. The insult of the Rakshasas. The degradation, the humiliation of the Rakshasas is what she narrated. So she quickly reached Janasthanam. Janasthanam is, this is a controversial thing. Where is Janasthanam is? Let me see if we can find some commentary on it. Because if you look at just Vyakaranam wise, Jananam Sthanam, Janasthanam. I think this is just my guess, is within that Dandakaranyam, wherever it is, wherever there were people residing, that should be called Janasthanam. But, that may not really hold. Let me see what Professor Devdar says about Janasthanam. Janasthanam is supposed to be a part of Dandaka. This is what I thought. It's a part of Dandakaranyam. The etymology might suggest it was a part of it which was inhabited whether by Rakshasa or by others. And in fact, it was the residence of the demons Khara and Dushana. But there is some controversy in Janasthani. It doesn't matter for Vyakaranam, but let us take it simply like a part of Dandakaranasya bhagaha. Yatra janaha nivasanti janasthanam. So it is an area of Dandakaranyam. We'll take it like that for the time being. So she quickly ran there, she reached there, and she narrated to them the Rakshasam paribhavam. This is clearly Shashti Purusha Samasaha. So nothing special. We will not get a commentary on that, as I mentioned to you many times. Rakshasam paribhavaha, rakshaf paribhavaha, rakshas pratipadikam. Usual steps, Sasajishoruho, then Karvasana, Visajaniyaha, and so on. So Rakshaf Paribhavam. So she narrated to them, Shashti Samasaha, she narrated to them quickly, having reached there quickly, the insult, the humiliation of the Rakshasas. Navam. This is a new humiliation of the Rakshasas. Navam. This Navam also is an interesting word. Nuyate iti Navaha. That which is praised. This nu is tutau. This dhatu nu. Nauti. Yes, sir.
How did paribhavam get to have the meaning humiliation? What is the...
So I think paribhu. Let's look at the dhatu paribhu. This pari takes around this dhatu is upasarga vashad, upasarga balad. Yeah, bhu is to be, in fact, there's some grammar also behind. But let's look at what after is paribhu. This is only the upasarga taking it that way. There's only dhatu bhu will not give that meaning. So look at paribhu, paribhutaha, to defeat, to subdue, to conquer, so to surpass, to despise, to treat with contempt, to insult. So it's only the upasarga which takes it that way. There's no other. Vyakaranam wise, there's no more explanation for that. The upasarga makes the dhatu bhu takes this meaning. I don't think there's any more behind that besides. Yeah, these upasargas are like that. You have to be very careful because they will balad artha niyate anyatra niyate dhatu nam artha anyatra niyate. They take the meaning of the dhatu somewhere else completely. The upasargas. So, and unfortunately, Vyakaranam will not help us in deciding that at all. We have to. That's one thing you need to read a lot to understand how these upasargas affect the dhatus combination. Yeah, because Vyakaranam will not help us get the meaning of that. So because Vyakaranam already assumes you know the meaning. And yeah, so that's all I can think of is why that happens. But there is some Vyakaranam to it, which is now we know the word like bhavaha. Then why not paribhavaha? We get I think we had this in a prior lesson, in a prior shloka. Paribhavaha, what happens is that in the third chapter of the Ashtadhyayi, in the Tritiya Pade, in the third pada, Tritiya Pade. So Panini describes how to create Nama Shabdaha from dhatubhyaha, to create nouns from dhatus. And there the default pratyaya Panini sets on top is this pratyaya called ghain. Pratyaya ghain, which is set here, ghain. And that will create masculine nouns. And that ghain has a apavadaha, which is rud or up, which means that if the dhatu is in the dirgha rukaraha, atva uvarnanta dhatu, tasmad apratya bhavati, gets the pratyaya up, rud or up. So dhatu bhu is ending in the ukaraha. So rather than getting pratyaya ghain, we got the pratyaya up. Of course, the difference is that in the pratyaya ghain we have acho niti, we get the vridhyadeshaha, while the up will only do sarvadhatuka ardhatuka yoho gunadeshaha. So bhu becomes bho and echo yavayavaha becomes bhavaha. While if you just add pratyaya ghain, then we get bhavaha, because by acho niti it takes vridhyadeshaha, because the ghain has a chavarga panchama as an it, you do acho niti vridhyadeshaha, become bhavaha. Then the question comes is that if we have rud or up, then how do we get the form bhavaha then? Bhava iti bhavet. Should be bhava there also. Because there Pani has a special rule which says that Shri ni bhuvo nupasarge, Shri ni bhuvo nupasarge. In the absence of still don't forget, we are in this adhikara of dhatoho, and which also has our favorite sutra, which is tatropapadam saptamistham. So any saptami indicated term in this section, you have to watch out for the upapada sanya. So upapade. So here what we are looking at right now is that the 3324 Shri ni bhuvo upasarge. When upasarga is not as an upapadam, anupasarge. So when you don't have an upasarga basically, then these dhatus Shri, Ni and Bhu take the ghain pratyaya. So that explains why we get bhavaha, but we get paribhavaha. So because paribhavaha is correctly default, is going to rud or up, apavada for ghain. But the bhavaha is again further counter exception for that up pratyaya, which is it takes anupasarge sati. Ghain bhavati. Ghain pratyaya comes there. So one more time, ghain was set as default over here. I am not going through all the details, but that's the basic gist of it. Rud or up, if you have uvarnanta dhatu should take up. So we got the word bhavaha. But then the counter exception is that Shri ni bhuvo upasarge, when upasarga is not as upapadam, is not present, then bhu will go back to ghain basically. So it becomes bhavaha but paribhavaha. Now one thing which we notice in the shloka is that a very important thing which Malinatha spent some time. Let's go to the commentary first, okay? Oh, by the way, this nava, I was talking about this nava, right? Nava is a nice word. In fact, I think the Srimad Bhagavatam, very first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vayam Numaha, I think comes Numaha. So Numaha means we praise. We praise that, whatever that great being, something like that. So dhatu nu. So this is so nuyate iti navam navaha. So that which is praised is new. Something which is new gets praised. So that's praised. Interesting how this dhatu comes. So, this word comes. You should see a dhatu over here. I think it's in the adadi ganaha. Should be dhatu nu somewhere here. Probably stutau, I would think stutau. Here it is. Nu stutau. Anyway, now so what she described to them was this new insult of the Rakshasas. Is what she described. Now let's follow the commentary for a second. Sa, is there a sa in the shloka? No. This should not be in bold then. The sa should not be in bold. You have to take it from the prior verse. Ashu janasthanam prapya. Having reached janasthanam quickly, no commentary. This is all straightforward. Ashu is an avyam. This is an avyam. Avyadapsupaha, supluk has taken place. Karadibhyaha. He clarifies that. Rakshasebhyaha. Now, tatha vidham. So, tatha vidham is a bahuvrihi compound, which we had fun yesterday. Bahuvrihi compound yesterday. Tatha vidham is tatha Vidhayasya tat Ramopakramam. So this new undertaking by Ramaha, this new program, this new endeavor, which was of that kind. So tatha vidham means of that kind. Tatha means tadrishi vidhayasya tat. And yesterday we saw in great detail the sutram goes triyor upasarjanasya. In the Bahuri compound, the general rule, every term has the upasarjana sanya, sarvopasarjanaha bahuvrihi. And then if you have a term at the end of a pratipadikam, which in this case vidha, which is ending in a stri pratyaya, or the word go, then it takes the rasva adesha if that has the upasarjana sanya. So we have the word vidha in the compound, it has the pratyaya top over there, on top of it, and it has upasarjana sanya as a part of Bahuri compound. It's at the end of the pratipadikam, so goes triyor upasarjanasya becomes tatha vidham. Tatha is an adjective, tatha vidha is qualifying ramopakramam. Okay, of that kind. So that endeavor of Ramaha, this undertaking of Ramaha. So of that, so what kind means previously described. So tathavidam means swangachhedatmakam, swangachheda rupam. This is also very important. Look at this kap pratyaya, by the way. We had this yesterday in the class. Pratyaya kap. We spent some time on that yesterday in the class, about half an hour, to identify the kap pratyaya. This is a compound. Swangachhedatmakam. You can see that, of course, you can recognize the word Atman in that, a very common word, Prasiddha Shabdaha. So you can also recognize the kap pratyaya at the end. And if there's a kap pratyaya at the end of a compound, think of Bahuvrihi. So, Swangachhedaha, Atma yasya tat upakramam. So it is upakramam. Atma means a nature in this case, nature. It's a nature, not like the Paramatma. It means Swarupam. So it is upakramam. This is undertaking of, this is in fact, they say that this undertaking of Rama, which is basically was an insult of the Rakshasas, was of the nature of that nature, means tathavidam, means of the nature of cutting off her limbs. Because, Lakshmana cut her nose and ears. So, swangachhedatmakam. So, this swangachheda is straightforward compound. So, swanga you can take it as either a shashti samasa or a karmadharyaha. So swanam anganam chedaha swangachhedaha. You can look at the tuk agama here, by the way. Don't forget the tuk agama. Let's see. Yes, sir. Ramaji, go ahead.
So this few shlokas ago, Lakshman cut off ears, and now you said lips. And
No, nose,
right?
Nose and ears, yes.
Yeah,
Not lips.
Yeah, I haven't read the Valmiki Ramayana. Have you read it?
I have read it, but
what is in the original? Nose or?
no, I think ears and nose.
Oh, ears and nose.
Ears
Okay.
and nose, not the lips, no, not lips.
Okay.
Okay. So swangachhedatmakam. So swangachhedaha atma yasya. So that is, it was an undertaking of Rama, which was an insult to the Rakshasas, which consisted of the nature of cutting off her limbs, ears and nose. So now you can appreciate the kap pratyaya. See how quickly you can identify Bahuvri compound and quickly get the Vigraha Vakyam for it, because pratyaya kap is that we have this, yesterday we saw that, the Sheshad Vibhasha. We said it's a very important sutram, Sheshad Vibhasha. So 5.4, 154, Sheshad Vibhasha. Okay. Then he goes on to say, Upakramyate iti upakramaha, karmani ghai pratyaha. The purpose of this class is to understand what the Tikakara is trying to say. So upakramyate iti upakramaha. He gives a Vigraha Vakyam for the word upakramaha. Let's look at this for a second. Karmani ghai pratyaha. We just saw the ghai pratyaha over here. Right here we saw it. So we saw the ghai pratyaha, which I just mentioned to you that in the third pada, titiya pade, Nama dhatubhyaha nama shabdaha nishpadyante, means that nishpadyante. So Panini creates these nouns from verbs in the third quarter, the third chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. And there Panini puts the anuvritti of ghani is coming down here. These two important rules which says in which meaning can ghani be used. It says bhave and akartrichakarake sanyayam. Akartrichakarake sanyayam. Bhave means, bhava means to express the meaning of the verb. What we call in English an abstract noun. Abstract noun. We say, so bhuj is to enjoy. So bhogaha is enjoyment. Enjoyment. So, krudh is to be angry. So krodha means anger. So these are basically abstract nouns from that to express the meaning, the bhava, of that verb. But not just that, but akartrichakarake sanyayam. Very important sutram. In any karaka except kartari, sanyayam. So if you want to form a word like aharaha, so that from which you extract the nutrients is called aharaha. Now if you want to form a noun in any other karaka except kartari, so aharaha will not be the doer of the action, aru. It will not be the one who takes away or who extracts, but it can be that from which you extract, that in which you extract, that by which you extract, that from which you extract, all it can be. So akartrichakarake sanyayam. In fact, I think in the Kashika, he gives example of, I think, aharaha. He says that aharanti tasmad rasam iti aharaha. That from which you extract the nutrients of the juice is aharaha. So that from which aharanti tasmad rasam iti aharaha. So this pratyaya is used to form abstract nouns. It is also used to form nouns. It should be sanyayam. It should be proper nouns. So ahara means diet. It should have the extended meaning of diet. Not anything that you take something out of it that will not become ahara. So it has to have a noun sense of standing for something specific like diet. So if you just take something from something, that will not become aharaha. So sanyayam akartrichakarake. Again, we don't spend the whole class on this, but this is, if you know this vyakaranam like that, you can understand what is Malinatha trying to say. He's saying that karmani ghai. So karmani ghai means that akartri is not kartari, karmani ghai. What upakramaha? Upakrama is to step. Pada vikshepe, I think. Krama is to step. Upakrama is to begin. To begin. So, upakramyate iti upakramaha. So, that which is begun, upakramaha. So, something which is undertaken, which is started, an undertaking which is started. So, that which is commencement, like a commencement. That which is commenced, upakramaha. So, he first explains the word, upakramyate iti upakramaha. Now, why is he going through all this trouble? Normally, he would not go through all this trouble. Kasmad vigravakyam diyate. Because napumsaka lingatva vivaranaya to explain why it has taken napumsaka lingam. Normally this pratyaya ghai, as we said, word like krodha, bhogaha, aharaha, they all are masculine nouns. In this case, there is a special sutram of Panini, because see, even you say Kalidasaha, he uses these words specifically to teach that sutram to us. To teach that sutram. So what he's trying to say is that this is the sutram. Upajñopakramam tadadya chikhyasayam iti klibatvam. So klibatva vivaranaya. So to explain the klibatvam of this, Malinatha gives us the vigraha vakyam upakramaha, upakramyate iti upakramaha. So karmani ghai pratyaha. This is that akartrichakarake sanyayam. Please mark this sutram 3.3.19. Because everybody knows bhave. Bhave is prasiddham. It is known everybody. You form abstract nouns. But what you should also know is that you can form these proper nouns with in any karaka except kartari. So ahara will never be the one who is extracting. So then he says upajñopakramam tadadya chikhyasayam iti klibatvam. Now Panini does not do much linga vichara in the Ashtadhyayi. The linga anushasanam is in fact even the pratyaya ghai which we just talked about. Ashtadhyayi doesn't say it should be pumsi. Sometimes Panini does say that. Because down below, because I think what it is that, because Panini does say below, striyam ktin, he says afterwards, striyam ktin. He also does say below, napumsake bhaviktaha. I think this puman is pumsi is default. That's what I'm thinking. So this is my thinking. Because below Panini specifies napumsake bhaviktaha, he also specifies striyam ktin. He did not say with ghai what to use. Of course, linganushasanam you will have the spashta vachanam, which is the ghayantam pumsi, something like that. So we did not say. So let's take from linganushasanam. We know that a ghayantam should be pumsi, should be used in masculine. But now upakramam is used in the neuter. How do we justify that? So now in 2.4, Panini has few rules about the lingam. Linga Vishaya Niyamaha. Kechana Eva. Only few rules Panini gives. And the one we saw, Sanapusakam, we see in the Wednesday class that this is the Samahara, Dvandva and Samahara. This Samahara, it becomes the Dvigu and Dvandva. They become Napumsakam, Sanapumsakam. We already saw 2.4.17. From here, Panini starts some rules about Napumsakam. So it says, Dvigur Dvandvascha. So this is Samahara. So that we will go in the Napumsakam. So Dvigure Ekavachanam from here it starts. And below that, Panini has a sutram somewhere here. It says the let's see, Paravalingam, here it is. Upajñopakramam tadadya chikhyasayam. 2.4.21. What is this? See, this is a very rare rule to be used. So it's difficult to find it. But if you remember the general area, if you know, you don't remember the exact house. If you know the region, if you know the street where you're coming through, you're coming to this, because as I said, Panini does not talk about lingam too much in the Ashtadhyayi. It's one of the few places that Panini talks about lingam. And that one is this Sanapumsakam. So think about, remember this Sanapumsakam. This one you probably won't remember. It's difficult to remember this one. Upajñopakramam tadadya chikhyasayam. What does Sutram say? He very simply says that this 2.4.21 says that this is the upajñayate iti upajña, upakramyate iti upakramaha. These two words, upajña upakramaha. So tatpurusho napusakalingo bhavati tadadya chikhyasayam. So tayoho upajña upakramayoho aderachikhyasayam gamyamanayam. When the intention is to talk about a beginning of this action, a new beginning, a start, something is being started. In that case, this upakrama will take the napumsaka. When the intention is to emphasize that beginning, then the achikya, this is the same dhatu kya we just said, achikhyasa. This is the sun pratyaya, by the way. Pratyaya sun has been used. If you want to do some homework, you can, we have done in the Wednesday class in great detail, pratyaya sun. So by by 3.17, we won't spend time in the class, it'll take too much time in the class right now. But this pratyaya san kam dhatuho karmanaha saman kritika ichchayam va. So kyatum ichcha, chikhyasa. So chikhyasa is kyatum ichcha. So the intention to describe. So akyatum ichcha, achikhyasa. Pratyaya sun has come over there, and then it takes the abhyasa, it is sanyangoho. I hope you remember all this. We had this about a few months ago. Sanyangoho. And the trademark of the sun pratyaya is in the abhyasa bhagaha, sanyataha. Sanyataha. In the abhyasa bhagaha, the akara takes the ikara deshaha. Like jidnyasa, pipasa, all these words. So achikhyasa is agnatum ichcha. Akyatum ichcha. So desire to narrate. So when there is a desire to on the spot of speaker to adya chikhyasayam, to express the beginning nature, the starting nature, the new nature of these two, then it comes in the neuter gender is to be used. So tayor upajñopakramayor adehe achikhyasayam. So adya chikhyasayam. Tadadya chikya. So tad means this the whole thing is a compound word. Tad means tayoho upajñopakramayoho adehe achikhyasayam gamyamanayam. It says akhyatum ichha achikhyasa. Okay, so that's what he's telling us here, is that upajñopakramam tadadya chikhyasayam iti klibatvam. We got that. Now is one important thing in this shloka. Remember this shloka. It's a very nice shloka. Remember this thing which I'm going to talk about the commentary in a second, is that, okay, let's look at these two. He says, Ramasya kartuhu upakramaha. He says Ramasya, but he didn't just simply say Ramasya upakramaha. Ramasya kartur upakramaha, he said. So it is an undertaking. It is a new beginning made by Rama. It's a new beginning of an endeavor. But who is the doer of that? Now, why does he say that? Ramasya karturupakramaha. And then below he says Rakshasam karma bhutanam paribhavam. The insult or humiliation of the Rakshasas. In this case, in both cases you have Shashti Shashti. Rakshasam Shashti Bhavachanam, Ramasya Shashti Ekvachanam. So Ramasya upakramaha and Rakshasam paribhavaha. But there's a big difference here between these two. Ramasya upakramaha, Rama is the doer of that action. He was the one who started this new thing of basically, putting down the Rakshasas. And Rakshasanam paribhavaha, they are the recipients of the action. They are not the doers of the insulting. They are being insulted. So Rakshasana. But in both cases, we see only Shashti here. So it says Ramasya kartuhu upakramaha and Rakshasam karma bhutanam paribhavam achakhyau. Let's look at the Panini Sutras, okay? So now, let's look at this one down here. Rakshasam karma bhutanam paribhavam. Okay. So this Rakshasam, this is in the Vigraha Vakyam, of course. We are looking at the Vigraha, we are in the Vigraha Vakyam, by the way. We have these compound words. Ramopakramam is Shashti Samasaha, and the Rakshah Paribhavam also Shashti Samasaha. But within the Vigraha Vakyam, we use Shashti in both cases. But he is specifying for us that in Ramasya it is Kartuhu Upakramaha, but Rakshasam is Karma Bhutanam Paribhavaha. Now how do we get these two? From what sutram do we get that? I said to you, to get any Vibhakti Vidhanam, you have to get a permit. You have to get authority from 2.3 of the Ashtadhyayi. No Vibhakti can be used unless it is authorized by 2.3 Ashtadhyayi. So we have to find the answer of this question in 2.3 of the Ashtadhyayi. Is why Rama, who is the Karta, took Shashti, and why Rakshas is the Karma also took Shashti. Because normally what do we use? Karmani Dvitiya we use. And if it's a Karta, we use the sutra which is Kartakaranayor Tritiya, if the Karta is Anabheta, so basically in a passive sense, or we otherwise default to the Prathama, Pratipadika, etc. Prathama. In this case, we don't have either Titiya or Prathama for the Karta, and we don't have Dvitiya for the Karma. We have Shashti for both. So how did we manage to land up with Shashti for both? And the answer to that is this sutram, which is the very important sutram which I mentioned many times in the class, is Kartrikarmanoho Kriti. If a Krit Pratyaya, Kritantam is being used in connection with that, both the Karta and the Karma will take Shashti. So we say, so in this one case is that now, but then how do we get, a lot of times we see that we get the Dvitiya also we get with the Karma. We don't get Shashti all the time, we get Dvitiya sometimes. How is that to be justified then? For example, we say that Vanasya shobham pashyan ramo gacchati. Ramaha goes watching the beauty of the forest. So shobham became dvitiya there, because pashyan is a kridantam padam. Then how come shobham got dvitiya? Why not shobhayaha pashyan then? Because this sutram, Katyakarmanoh Kriti, has a very important apavadaha, nishedha, say, and that one is this one, Nalokavya Nishtakalar Tatranam. We won't spend like too much time in the class, but this one says that this Shashti is stopped in the case of all these pratyayas. One of them is Nishtha. For example, Ramaha Vanam Gataha. We don't say Ramaha Vanasya Gataha. Say Ramaha Vanam Gataha. Even though Gataha clearly is ending in a Kridantam Padam, we don't say Rama Vanasya Gataha. We say Ramaha Vanam Gataha. Because Nishthantam Padam, with that you don't use Shashti. You go back to Dvitiya. If you have any Lakara Adesha, like I just told you about Shatru Pratyaya, Shobham Pashyan, we don't use Shashti. So this constitutes a very important apavada for this sutram, Katyakarmanoh Kriti. But right now we don't have any of these. So, and what do we have? We have these two words, which is paribhavaha, and we have this word. So paribhavaha is here. Take these two examples. You say Krishnasya kritihi, the action of Krishna. So Krishna is the doer of the action. Then we take Jagatah Karta, Krishna. So now Jagataha is also Shashti, and Krishnasya also is Shashti. In one case, that when it says Krishnasya Kritihi, that is the Kartuh Shashti. We say Jagatah Karta, he is the maker of the world. That world is not the maker. The maker is Krishna, but the world is Shashti. So the karma as well as the karta take Shashti when it is in connection with the Kridantam, with the Krit Pratyaya. But again, the warning is that is not seen so often, because many of these common Krit Pratyayas are removed by this Na Lokavya Nishtha Kaltritunam. So if you know Vyakaranam, you can appreciate these points which the commentator makes. So he says, Ramasya Kartuhu Upakramaha. So both of these are by this Katyakarmanoh Kriti. Both of these are there, because the Pratyaya is Ghai Pratyaya has been used over here. We have not used any of these guys. It's a Krit Pratyaya, because to the thing starts from 3193, and this Ghai came in 33, 18, 19, etc. So it's a Krit Pratyaya, and it is not one of these. It is not one of these in this sutram. Again, sutram we won't go in detail. All these it is not in here. If you want, you can do some homework and look at this in detail. It's not an avyayam. In avyam, for example, you say vanam gantum ichchami. Vanam gantum. Rupam drashtum ichchami. Now we don't say rupasya drashtum. We don't say vanasya gantum, because in avyayam, if avyayam is the end, then you say vanam gatva. You don't say vanasya gatva, you say vanam gatva. So odanam bhuktva, you don't say odanasya bhuktva, because an avyayam is there. So this is a very, very important Nisheda Sutram for this Katyakarmanoh Kriti. But still you have to go through these two steps. When you say vanam gatva, you start from Karmani Dvitiya, but don't stop there. Don't just say Karmani Dvitiya and say vanam gatva, vanam miti Dvitiyantam. You have to then come to Katyakarmanoh. This is because everybody knows Karmani Dvitiya, we all know that. So this one you should place in your mind. Manasi sthatavyam, sthapayittavyam, which is the Katyakarmanoh Kriti. If you know that, you'll get stuck with Shashti in all these places. Then you'll come and look for the 2369. If you know Katyakarmanoh Kriti, always think why Shashti was not used in Vanam Gatva, Annam Bhuktva. Must be something is stopping the Shashti, and that is 2369. Okay, so let me leave you with that, because it will take too much time to do the whole thing. What does he have in the commentary here is, now look, he makes the comment. Ramasya Kartuhu Upakramaha, we just talked about that. Ramena Adau Upakrantam Ityartaha. So it was the first time that this is the new thing for the Rakshasas, that he had started to basically put them down. It was not something which they had not had before, which Rama had not done before. This is the first new undertaking that he had done to put them down. So it's upakramam. So Ramena adau upakrantam. And look at see, exactly follows the sutram. See, all these are all technical terms. Because Panini had already told us, Adya Chikyasayam, Adehe Achikyasayam. So exactly, Malinatha uses the same words, Adau Upakrantam Ityartaha. Upajnopakramam Tadadya Chikyasayam iti klivatvam. Then Tan Navam, this new, Rakshasam Karma Bhutanam Paribhavam Achakyaucha. She narrated to them. Okay, I think enough grammar for one shloka, right? But it has some interesting things. The one thing to take from the shloka is definitely remember the sutram, Kartukramanoho Kriti. Think of the pratyaya. I would think the two sutra I would remember from this shloka. Of course, you have Ata or Nalaha. We talked about that. 7134. I will also remember 2365 Kartukramanoho Kriti, and also remember 3319. Akarthichakarake sanyayam. Okay, that's what I would take from this sutra. Okay, let's go to our. Is Vain, are you there, Vain? Somebody is there. Vain, are you there? Or is Kalpesh is there? Somebody is there. Okay, I guess he's not. Maybe he's
this is Vain, yes.
Oh, hi, Vain, you want to try because you are a special guest. Nagaraji is standing there, available. He is our Nityam Anuvadakarta. But since in your honor, since you have come, let us give you a chance. Okay, let us see. Okay, and. What is and?
Cha.
Cha, very good. Soon.
I guess Ashu.
Ashu. Shighram. Tatkalam. Sadhyaha.
Yeah.
So, Vilambanam Vina. Okay, reaching. Having reached.
Prapya.
Prapya. Janasthana is.
Janasthanam.
She is from the commentary. Sa in the commentary.
Yes.
Informed.
Achakhyau.
Achakhyau. Khara and hold on.
And etc.
Khara, etc. This is Khara and others. So Kharadibhya. Of the insult of that. Of the insult. Okay, will it, okay. Of the insult of that sort. I think
Tathavidham is that sort.
Tathavidham is out. He's repeating the word insult double.
Insult is not there at that point.
Yeah, at that point it comes down later also. So
yes.
of that sort basically. Tathavidham. So Tathavidhayasya.
Yeah.
To her.
To her is not there.
To her is not there.
Yeah.
Which was
a new
Navam. Oh, English word new is Navam, same as in new.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Unprecedented discomfiture of the Rakshasas.
Paribhavam.
Of the Rakshasas, Rakshaf Paribhavam.
Raksha.
Instituted by Rama.
Is Parikrama.
Upakrama. So Rama Upakramam instituted. He just started this whole new thing. Instituted by Rama. Instituted, this is a nice thing. This is the Adehe Achikyasayam, which was instituted by Rama. Ramopakramam. Okay, good, thank you. So that is now the story. So now Ramayana picks up the action part now. This is where the whole action. Before Shurpanakha was kind of mellow, but let's see what happens next is that. Mukhavayava lunantam nirjata yat pudo. Oh, I'm sorry. I just finished up some Vyakaranam before you go there. We already talked about that, but since I put this in a document, let me finish it for you. One thing in the Upakramaha, Kramu Pada Vikshepe, to step. Upakrama is to start, to commence. We already talked about this Pratyaghai, which is the Karmani Ghai. Upakramyati Upakramaha. Only thing here is that we should have had the Atopadhayaha. Like Pata becomes Pataha, Pata becomes Pataha. So it should become Kramaha, shouldn't it? Upakramaha. Kasmad Atopadhayati Vriddhirna Bhavati. Why not Vriddhi Adesha? Because like Pat becomes Pataha, Pat becomes Pata, and so on. We should have had Kramaha, not Kramaha. This sutram is 7334. which stops 72116. Look at one second. Is that Nodattupadeshasya 7334. Now, just to know in the Ashtadhyayi where we are, this anuvritti of niti goes down from 72115. So all these rules and exceptions and prohibitions relating to something which happens to the angam when the pratyaya is either nit or nyat, chavarga panchama or tavarga panchama is a nit, those are all coming in this section. Anuvritti of niti goes down into 7.3. The sutram says na, nisheda sutram, na. When you see that na in a sutram, nisheda is stopping. It is stopping some other rule. That's all it is doing. It's only prohibiting some other operation. Nodattupadeshasya mantasyana chamehe. Mantasyana chamehe. So if your manta angam is there, udattupadesha dhatu is there. Udattupadesha now we connect with this sutram, which is ekachupadesha udatta, which is basically in very rough terms, it's a said dhatu. Because dhatu which are anudattupadesha, they will not allow an idagamaha. Idagama comes to pratyaya, not the dhatu. When we say anudattupadesha, we are saying, sorry, when we're talking udattupadesha, we're talking about dhatu which allowed idagama, said dhatava. Now, there are only 4 dhatus, manteshu, gama, nama, yama, rama. There are only 4 dhatus, which are anudattupadesha, manteshu chatvaraha eva. Which means krama dhatu is not a anudattupadesha, which means udattupadesha. So now we're talking about the swara on the dhatu vowel, not on the it vowel. Don't confuse these two. The swara on the it vowel used to decide the atmane padam, padasne padam, padavyavastha, while the swara on the dhatu ho ach, that decides the set, weight, anit properties of that. So anyway, right now coming to 7334, na udattupadeshasya dhatu krama is udattupadesha dhatu. Mantasya, it should be manta dhatu. Anachamehe, not the dhatu acham. Accepting the dhatu like achamanam. So accepting that acham dhatu, any other dhatu which is manta, udattupadesha, then don't do. Don't do what? What was previously prescribed? Was previously prescribed, if you look at 7334 quickly. So, because if you know the sutram atopadhaya 7211, you should ask the question, why not? This is how you learn Vyakaranam. You know some basic fundamental rules. And when they don't apply, you have to figure out why they didn't apply. What was stopping that? This 7334 says, udattupadeshasya mantasya anachamehe, udattupadeshasya angasya achami varjitasya chini kriti niti yaduktam tanna bhavati kim uktam, what was prescribed? Atopadhaya iti vriddhi. So in fact, so this comes in Bhagavad Gita, you can, how about this one in Gita? Shamo tapashchaucham kshantirajavamevacha jnanam vijnanamastikyam brahma karma svabhajam. Chapter 18, maybe like 40 something. Shamaha, damaha, these are pratyaya. Ghai has been used. How did not become shamaha and damaha? Because this sutram, nodattupadeshasya mantasya anachamehe. So next time you chant Bhagavad Gita, you chant this shlokaha, shamaha, damaha. This pratyaya ghai has been used over here. Atopadhayaha, it is vriddhir prapyate. Nodattupadeshasya mantasya anachamehe iti nishidhyate. No vriddhi. So this shloka in Gita, there are many places shamaha comes, damaha comes. So this one you can think about that. So it's not an uncommon rule. So wherever you see that atopadhaya not being done, think if you see a manta dhatu, think about this one. Okay, that's one point in this shloka. And then I talked about this one, kartukarmano kriti. There's one more problem here. I'm sorry to spend so much time, but there's so much interesting issues that I don't know how much time to spend in the class, because we spent 45 minutes on shloka. Okay, let's make this one last point, and this is also a very important point. we'll do it in 2 minutes. One thing is that we talk about this samasa over here, right? We have these two compounds over here, Ramopakramam, and we also have Rakshaf Paribhavam. Shashti samasa, which clearly has been said by Malinatha, Ramasya Upakramaha, Rakshasam Paribhavaha. Now, to form a Shashti samasaha, there is one thing to watch out for. The sutram is Shashti, 228 Shashti. It gives a general blanket license to form a Shashti samasa. So there's no problem. But there are a number of views where specific kinds of Shashtis cannot be compounded. No nirdharane. This nidharana shashti. For example, it says, like in chapter 10 of Gita, you have all of nidharana shashti. Means that when you single out an item from a class, when you distinguish one item from a particular class of items. So it says, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, starting from here, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Shestha. From here it is coming here. You know, I am this of this, I am this of that, I am that of that. Adityanam Aham Vishnur, Jyotisham Raghuvamsham, and so on. You know, so it says Purushana Uttamaha Ramaha. You know, so to speak, Purushottamaha you can do that, but you cannot say Purusha Ramaha. You can say Purushanam Shuratamaha. You can take Uttamaha simply, Purushanam Uttamaha Ramaha. So if you say Purushanam Ramoham, I am Ramaha among men, I am Ramaha. This is not in Gita, I'm just making a simple example. So you cannot say Purusha Ramaha. Even though the Shashti Sutram gave us a license to compound any Shashti in general, this Nidharana Shashti is not compounded. Right now we don't have that. Just give an example of how all Shashtis don't compound. Specifically, this one does not compound. You cannot say, you can say Purushottamaha. You cannot say Purusha Ramaha. Even though we can say Purushanam Ramoham. Among men, I am Ramaha. So, okay. But what is the problem? Then what is our problem right now? Is we don't have Nidharanam. We only have the Shashti by Kartikarmanoha Kriti. But under that sutram, which is the Nidharane, there is Vartikam, etc. is there. So on 2.2.10, under 2.2.10, you can look at this 2.2.10 and you can take it for homework if you want. It says is that Pratipada Vidhana Shashti na Samasyati Vartavyam. Is a Pratipada Vidhana, specific Shashti. Pratipadam is a technical term. Pratipada Vidhana is specifically ordained, not the general Shashti which is by this Shashti Sheshe. Because by Shashti Sheshe, Panaji says that any kind of Sambandha you use Shashti. That Shashti will compound. That will compound. But then all these other Shashtis which have come in specifically being ordained in specific nuances, they will not compound. Is what this Vartikam says. And unfortunately for us right now, we used Kartikarmanoha Kriti to get the Shashti. So now we have a problem. Is that this specific Shashti, which is not from Shashti Sheshe, that will not generally compound. So this is a 2-3 step process over here. So first step, we had the Sutram 2.2.8, which gave us a general license to compound any Shashti. The Vartikam on Nidharane gave a Nishedha, saying that Pratipada Vidhana Shashti na Samasyate. So basically any other Shashti except Shashti Sheshe cannot be compounded. Now we are stuck. With the Nishedha. Then there is a counter exception for that, which says that this one is that somewhere here Krudyoga cha Shashti Samasiti Vaktavyam. So Katyayana puts a counter exception saying that even though I said Pratipada Vidhana Shashti na Samasyate iti Vakshati Tasyam Purastad Apakarshaha. So he preempts that Nishedha by saying ahead of time that Krudyoga Shashti, that's Kartikamana Kriti, Krudyoga. So Shashti in connection with the Krudantam, So the krut pratyaya is for krudyoga shashti. It's also a technical term, by the way. Krudyoga shashti. Remember that term, krudyoga shashti. When we say krudyoga shashti, that is referring to 2, 365. Katya karmanoho kruti, krudyoga shashti. And that can compound. So even though later on, Katyayana does say that pratipada vidana shashti na samasyate iti vakshyati tasyam purastad apakarshaha. So he says that krudyoga shashti samasyate. Anyway, I hope you appreciate some of that. Is that the problem was that the shashti sutram which is used to form this compounding is generally only can be used for the sutram 2, 350 shashti sheshe. Any other shashti does not compound. That is the Vartikam on 2 to 10. But then there's a counter exception under shashti which says krudyoga shashti. That krudyoga shashti is a technical term, means for 2, 365. That shashti will compound again will compound. Anyway, so too much vyakarana for one shloka, but there are a lot of interesting points which we have seen in some other classes. But so krudyoga shashti samiti vaktavyam. Okay, let's move on to the next shloka. It says Mukhavayava lunantam nairrita yat puro dadhuho Rama bhiyayinam tesham tadeva bhudamangalam. Mukhavayava lunantam nairrita yat puro dadhuho Rama bhiyayinam tesham tadeva bhudamangalam. Padacheda is Mukhavayava lunam. Mukhavayava lunam tam shurpanakam nairjataha rakshasaha yat puraha avyam puras agre daduho rama bhiyayinam tesham tad eva abhut amangalam. Of course, akasam and dirgha happening over here, chalam jashanti happening over here, and here you have the hali sarvesham. I mean, these rules I'm not doing in the class anymore because sandhi rules we should know by now. So in nairjata yat puraha, that is the hali sarvesham. So bho bhago agho apurvasya yoshi, then hali sarvesham. This hali sarvesham. So this is the two rules happening over here. Okay. So what does Sutram say? There are two verbs in this sentence. Daduhu and abhuta. Daduhu means to, dha is to, dharana portion, to place, to put, to place, to also means to bear, to hold, to support. It has various meanings. The basic meaning of dha, dudhai, dharana portion yoho, means to place or to put. So the fact that Nairritaha is Rakshasaha. These Rakshasas placed her, Shurpanakha, in front of them. She who had luna, dhatu lui, chedane. The word lavanam comes from lavanam. Lavanam means salt. Interesting word, lavanam. That which cuts through your wound. Which cuts through something very caustic. That is salt. Lui chedane is to cut. Lavanam. Okay, anyway, so she who had been chopped off on her body, her parts of her face had been chopped off. So the Rakshasas placed her in front, means they allowed to come her in front, means they basically looked at her. This is supposed to be an amangalam. To look at somebody who has had, this kind of a disfigurement is supposed to be, a bad omen, a mangalam. So this is, and Ramaviyayinam Tesham. So of all these Tesham Rakshasanam. So for these Rakshasas who were attacking Ramaha, that itself became a mangalam for them. That seeing Shurpanakha in such a state, with her face chopped off like that, that's a bad omen. So that became a bad omen for these Rakshasas who were then attacking Ramaha. That's a simple sentence. So let's follow the commentary. Nairritaha Rakshasaha. He quotes Amar Koshaha, Nairrito Yatu Rakshasi. So nirritaha is used in the sense. So yatu and rakshas and nirrita, these are used in the sense of rakshasaha. So very quickly in the document I put the etymology of this is that nirritihi. Nirriti is Alakshmi nirritihi. She is this, I guess, demoness, this evil portent. Nirritihi. This is also the Adhishtatra Devata, of the, let me see, the southwest, I think. Southwest. Yeah. Southwest, correct. So southwest direction. She is the Adhishtatra Devata of that. So nirritehe alakshmyaha apatyam puma nirritaha. Nirritaha. Tasyapatyam. So we get the pratyaya nirriti plus nyas plus an. So only one complication here. This is tadita from nirriti. From nirriti is a tadita. One is offspring, her offspring. Offspring of Alakshmi or nirriti is called nairrita. Tasyapatyam. Now we know this adhikar of taditaha, which starts from 4176, and the very first meaning which Panini takes is tasyapatyam. That starts from 4192, and even before that Panini puts the default pratyaya parag divyato an. You've seen this many times in the class. From this 4183 up to 442, if no other pratyaya has been prescribed, the default is be an. Anabhavyam. Anabhavyam. The pratyaya an should be there. Will be there. So we can, that's enough for us to derive this form. So nirritehe apatyam puman nirritaha. Nirriti plus shashti ekavacham nyas pratyaya an by this tasyapatyam. And the default sutram parag divyato and just a very simple anubandha lopaha halantyam. This entire samudaya gets a pradipika sanya kritita samasascha, then supo dhatu pradipikayo supluk, so nirriti plus a, and then taditeshvachamadehe. So you remember the sutram which we just saw, which is acho nyati and atopadhaya. Following that, it's a tadita pratyaya, which has the chavarga or the panchama or tavarga panchama as an it, then the adi ach takes vriddhi. Taditeshvacham adehe become nairriti. And then since we have Vain with us today, we can, yes, you want to finish this on Vain? Your two sutras here, Vain. Yachibham. Yes, teacher. Because the angam, this Pratyaya an has the, you can mute yourself when Pratyaya an has the Swadi Pratyaya. And I think when you can mute yourself, you're echoing. Okay, so then we get the it gets the angam gets the bhasanya because of yachibham, and the yasyasya ivarnantasya avarnantasya bhasanyakasya angasya lopabhavati tadite ikarecha pare become nairrata. Now only one small complication here. There's always some complication, right? So there is this stribhyo dhakka sutram called stribhyo dhakka. Is that with word like we say kaunteya, gangeya, draupadeyascha. So so kuntyaha apatyapavan kaunteyaha arjunaha. Now why did we not get over here that now? Stribhyo dhakka. Stribhyo dhakka. We don't use the pratyaya dhak. We happily use the pratyaya an. So but now nirriti is his mother. So their mother, I should say. So now what happened over here? Why not stribhyo dhakka? If you carefully look at the vritti of stribhyo dhakka, what it says is that 4:120, 4:1:120 stribhyo dhakka. It says stri grahanena tab adi pratyantaha shabdaha griyante. Not like a woman or a feminine, a lady son, I mean the offspring of someone feminine, but it should be a shabdaha ending in a sri pratyaya. Now nirritihi, we don't have a stri pratyaya, we have striyam ktin, but basically is that the stribhyo dhak only applies when you apply Stri Pratyaya, feminine affix, a affix which makes something in this adhikara of Striyam, like, top, etc. Like in a word like Kunti, there's a Pratyaya that Neep or Nish, something has come there. A word like Ganga, Pratyaya, top has come. Become Gangeyaha, so become Kaunteyaha, etc. So I think that is the explanation that is there, is that Vistribhyo Dhak Tavadi Pratyantaha Shabdaha Grijyante. Okay, so anyway, so that is a small complication there. Now, Daduhu, form Daduhu. Your one quickly is that Judhai means they placed. All of this, it is the lit lakaraha, Pratham Purusha Bahuvachanam. So Dudhai Dharana Poshana Yoho, then Dane Ityapyeke, so it can also be a sense of charity, giving, or to bear, to hold, to nourish. In this case, to place. So Dha plus lit, the same as before. In Judhai, this do is an it. By other need to Davaha. 135. Then after that, we have Halantyam. Then the same thing, we use Parokshe lit. And then same thing as before. Anubandha Lopaha, Tipta Ji. In this case, Pratyaya Ji comes. Ji takes the Ussadesha. The good news about lit is, since it's Parokshe lit, Parayana, Pratham Purusha Pragaha Eva Drishyante. Only third person. So only null atus us. Pratyaya us has come with Adesha. And in the us, the vibhaktau tusmaha. This saka is not an it. Ending sakara vibhakti pratyaya is not an it. Both the sup and ting pratyas get the sanya vibhakti. And then because of litcha, this gets the sanya of ardhadhatukam, that stops kartari shap. It's only sarvadhatuke. And then we do the abhyasa karyam, liti dhaturunabhyasasya. And then rasvadeshaha, dha us. And then what we do is that we have the sutram, we say this is the important sutram now, which is asanyogad lit kit, apit lit kit syat. This lit pratyaya, which is not following a sanyogaha. There's no sanyoga here. There's no sanyoga here. And it is apit. This because the pratyaya ji became us. There's no pit over there. Apit lit kit syat becomes kit. And then ato lopa iticha. If you have an adanta mangam, which we have right here, following there is a pratyaya which is sanya of ardhadhatukam, which is kit, nit, ajadi, or it has idagamaha. Doesn't have to be kitnis in that case. Then angasya lopasyat, alontyasya. The ending akaraha takes lopaha. So one more time, in this adhikara of ardhadhatuke, which Panini starts, this adhikara comes in two places in Ashtadhyayi. In chapter 2 also it comes. Right now it's in chapter 6. It says ato lopa iticha, which means that if you have an adanta mangam, which is followed by a pratyaya which is ajadi, kitnit, or it has idagama with it. In any case, it has to be it's a pratyaya sanya of ardhadhatukam. In that case, the adanta angasya lopasyat, alontyasya become the us. Then finally, abhyase charcha. In the abhyasa, the prana is lost. Prana is lost in abhyasa, it becomes alpa pranaha. Daduhu. So ato lopa, don't forget that one. Daduhu means they placed. Now the next thing, okay, let's go back to the verse for a second. So let's see the commentary. Nairritaha rakshasaha. Nairrito or yatu rakshasi iti amaraha. He quotes from the Amar Kosha. This yatu and rakshas can be used in the sense of rakshasaha. Nairrita, yatu, rakshas, all can be used. Then he says mukha vayava lunam. Mukha vayaveshu karnadishu lunam. This is karnadishu. Her nose, etc. had been cut. Lunam is chinnam. This is not a Bahuvrihi compound. I said in Bahuvri compound, generally speaking, there will be a noun at the end of the compound, and the entire compound will be an adjective to somebody. This compound is an adjective to someone, but there is not a noun at the end of the compound. This Luna is directly an adjective. We don't The conditions for Bahuvrihi are not here. Because Bahuvrihi, the main dharma Bahuvrihi is Anyapada Pradhanatvam. This Luna has Pradhanyam here itself. This is Tatpurusha compound. Of course, look at the Vigraha Vakyam, it is clear. In the Vigraha Vakyam Bahuvrihi compound, you have the Yat Padam. You don't have that over. This is simply a Saptami Purushaha. Saptami Samasaha. Mukhavayaveshu. The Mukhavayava itself is a Shashti Tatpurusha. There is no commentary on that. I told you many times. Shashti Samasaha. No Vyakhyayate. There is no commentary on that. So, Mukhasya Avayavaha. Mukhavayavaha is parts of the mouth. Then Teshu equals Karanadishu. Lunam. Chinnam. So, she who had been cut on parts of her mouth. So that is, if you just look at document quickly here, says here is that, I have it somewhere here. Okay, Mukhasya Vayavaha, Mukhavayavaha is this simply Shashti Samasa and Akasava Dirghaha. Then Teshu Lunam, she had been cut on parts of her mouth, of her face. Now this dhatu Lui Chedane. Lui Chedane is to cut. There's a typo here, I'm sorry. It should be Chedane. Chedane. Okay. Now, when we do the Nishtha Pratyaya, this is the Sutam Nishtha. It comes in the Bhute Adhikaraha. We start from 3184. So, Bhutarthe Nishtha Pratyaya Prayujyate. And Ktaktavatu Nishtha. 3284 starts Bhute. And in that Adhikaraha, 32102 is Sutram Nishtha. And what happens is Taktavatu Nishtha. Both Kta and Ktavatu are both Nishtha. Nishtha Sanya. But one of them is passive. As a general rule, by 3467, Kartari Krita, they should both be in the active. Kartari Krita should be the doer. But by Tayoreva Kritya Kta Kalarthaha, this Kta becomes passive, while the Ktavatu remains active. So, Tayoreva Bhava Karmanoho Eva. So, Kta can only be used in the passive. So, we combine all that together and we get this. We can always find out in which meaning a pratyaya is being used. Just because you found the pratyaya doesn't mean that you know what meaning. It's kind of obvious. But we tend to overlook the fact that, in what meaning is this pratyaya being used. It's being used in the passive form, in the past tense. It's passive, that's what we call past passive participles. It's a very bad term to use. It has many exceptions. But anyway, in this example it works. So we'll keep that. And then what happens here is that Anubandha Lope Lashakvatadhite. Now this is Ukaranta Dhatuho. So the sutram is Shukashkiti. Shukashkiti. Idagamaha. Always think of Idagamaha. Pratyakta has sanya of Ardhadhatukam. But Tingshit Ardha, so Tingshit Sarvadhatukam. Ardhadhatukam Sheshaha. Then comes the question of Idagamaha, which is Ardhadhatukasyed Valadehe. So why no Idagam over here? Nisheda Sutram is Shukashkiti. Any Ugganta Angam if you have, and followed by Kit Pratyaha. So this one Shri, either Shri is there or any Ugganta. So in this case the Dhatu is Lu, ending in Ukaraha. So Rulruk, so Ukkantam, right? So Ai un Rulruk, so Urulru Antam. So we have Lu ending in the Ukaraha, so by Shukashkiti, so Shri iti etasya Ugantanam cha Kiti Pratte Idagamo na bhavati. Like Shritaha, Bhutaha, Bhutanam, all these places. So same thing here, Idagama is stopped. Now finally we need something to make the Nishtha Takara into Nakaraha. And that famous sutram is Radabhyam Nishthato Naha Purvasya Chaddaha. Radabhyam. Dhatu ending in Repha or the Dakara. We don't have that right now. We have Dhatu ending in Ukaraha. But Luadibhyaha. These Dhatus, Luadi Dhatus, set of Dhatus in the 9th Gana. Following them also Nishtha Takara becomes Nakaraha. Nishthato Naha. The Nakara, the Takara of Nishtha. Nishthayaha Takarasya Sthani Nakara Desha Bhavati Luadibhyaha. Following this, one of these, Lu is the very first in that list. So this becomes Luna. And then in Sriyam you put the top on top, it's become Luna. Akasami Dirgha. So she gives Chinna. Now interesting, in Malinatha gives the word Chinna. Now Chinna is Dhatu Chid, ending in Dakaraha. So in that case you would use this sutram. Radhabhyam Radhabhyam. So Refanta Dakaranta. So that time you have Chid is ending in Dakaraha. Chinnam, Klinnam, Bhinnam, Tunnam, all these places. Radhabhyam Nishtha Tonaha. Purvasya Chadaha. But Lwadibhya we use. So we use this for Luna and use this for Chinna. But the same concept, Nishtha Takara becomes Nakaraha. So Lunam, Chinnam, Tam, Shurpanakam, Puras is Agre. They placed her in front. So Puro Daduhu is Agre Chakruhu. He has translated that for us nicely. So Puras with the Dhatu Dha. Like so Purohita, how about that? Purohitaha. Purohitaha is this same thing. One who's placed in front. He means a priest, but he's placed in front. So Purohitaha is one who sits in front. And the Purohitaha is this Dadatir Hihi. The Dha becomes Hita. So Purohitaha. So once you see this, again the same thing. When you see this combination of a Dhatu with either a Upasarga or an Avyayam like that, then we have to look at all the possible words that we know. And we know the word Purohitaha. Purohita is one who's placed in front. So he is translating that to us as Puro Daduhu Agre Chakruhu. Means they put her in front. Chakruhu is also Litlakaraha, the Dhatu Kru, Patam Purusha Bhavachanam. Also notice one thing is when they made the commentary like that, whatever is the Purusha and the Vachanam, they will maintain the same one here also, obviously. So Puro Daduhu is same Agre Chakruhu. Iti yat vrittam, this occurrence, this fact, the fact. So yat and tat, there is nothing to really call from directly in the shloka. Iti yat tattvam, iti yat vrittam, this which occurred, this fact which took place, this fact itself became a bad omen for these Rakshasas. So iti yat doesn't say yat means samanya napustakam samanya, means this which occurred, this itself, the fact that they put Surpakana in front, that itself, Rama Abhiyayinam. Now, Abhiyayi, now we use the word Anuyayin. Anuyayin means a follower, Anuyayin means that's in a good sense. Anuyayi means you follow somebody in a good sense. But Abhiyayin, Ya is to, I think, Prapani. Ya is to basically to go, to reach. But Abhiya is to attack in this sense. So Rama Abhiyayinam, Ramam Abhidravatam. Dhatu is Dhru, Dravati, Abhid. So Abhidru is to again to move, to flow, like Dravyam, etc. But the Abhidru is to go towards or to attack, who are kind of coming down on him. So Abhidravatam. So Rama Abhiyayinam, Ramam Abhidravatam. Abhidravat is Shatranta Prajpadikam. Both, again, notice one thing, this is Shashti Bhavachanam. Same thing here, Shashti Bhavachanam. So whatever you have in the comment in the gloss will be the same. They maintain the same Vibhakti Vachanam. So if you don't understand one of these, if you understand one of these, you got the other. What I'm trying to say, if you understand this, you know the same Vibhakti Vachanam must be here also. So Rama Abhiyayin Pratipadikam. Rama Abhiyayinam, Ramam Abhidravatam. Tesham Rakshasanam Kharadinam Amangalam Abhut. That became a bad omen for them. Going to the document quickly, I think there's only one point here that I have, is this Rama Abhiyayin. Ya Prapane becomes Yati, etc. This is in the Adadi Ganaha. So Abhiya plus Nini. Abhiya plus Nini. This sutram is, first of all, if forming Upapada Samasaha, using the sutram Supya Jato Dinistachiye. Very famous sutram. Supya Jato Dinistachiye. So let's not forget, we are in the adhikara of Tatrapapadam Saptami Stham. So Supi is a Saptami. Supi. So as long as any sup, it doesn't have to be karma, any sup is there. He says Ramam. So now Abhiyayin itself we are forming Abhiyayin. So now look at the commentary here. Did he make a commentary here? I think the commentary he made here was okay, Rama Abhiyayinam Ramam Abhidravatam. Now one thing is that okay, let's finish this form, then we'll go to some details. So Supya Jato Dinistachilye. So any sup is there. In this case, we're taking this Abhi is also a sup, and then it's an Avyayam, yes, and Ya plus Nini Tachilye, one who habitually does that. So they attack Ramaha. Now, so first, to form any compound, you have to find a sutram in 2-1 or 2-2 to authorize the compound. That always holds. And Upapada Samasa means Upapadam a thing. We done a Wednesday class in great detail. Upapadam a thing. Tatra Upapadam Saptamistham. Don't skip these steps. And then come to Supya Jato Nistachilye. As I mentioned to you, many of these important ones come from 3-1 to 3-100. Then Chutu, Upadeshe Jananasika It, and we get the Abhi Ya In, we get a Yuk Agamaha. We just looked at this section right now when we talked about Nodat Upadeshasya Mantasya Anachamehe. So that one we looked at 7.3.34 it was. In that same, the prior was Ato Yuk Chin Krutoho. So we have Adantamangam, followed by the pratyaya chin, which you don't have right now, or any krit pratyaya which is nyat or nit. Then the angam gets the yuk agamaha, ato yuk chin kritoyo, like sukhadayin, so sukhadayi. These all these so these takes the anuyayi, so these takes the yuk agamaha. So what we got is that again if adantamangam for Krit Pratyaya, which is Chavarga Panchama, Tavarga Panchama is an It, or the Pratyaya Chin is there, then we get the Angam gets the Yuk Agama. So Ato Yuk Chin Kritoho, Adyantau Takitau, becomes the Antya Vayavaha, and then Anubandha Lopaha, Upadeshi Jananasika Ithalantyam Abhiyayin. There's only one controversy here, by the way. Anyway, Ramasya Abhiyayinaha, Rama Abhiyayinaha, Tesham Amangalam. Shashti Samasaha. This is very simple. Ramasya Abhiyayinaha. Yes.
The word Atatayinaha is similar.
Yes, Atatayin. I think that's also known as Tachilye. I think that is also, that may be a little bit, I don't know exactly how it's from. Atatayinaha. Atatayinaha. Yes, look at it quickly. Let's look at Atatayinaha. Yeah, I think it should. Atatayinaha. Let me see. Let's see quickly what the best place to go is Amar Kosha commentary. Looks like an ini at the end, definitely. Atatayin. Desperados. Atatayin. Atatayinaha. Atatayin. Okay. This page 194.21. One of the first places to go is the Amar Kosha commentary by Bhanuji, the son of Bhattoji, Dikshitaha. So this word Atatayin, let's see what he says for Atatayin. Manapriyaha Kokilaha Atatayi Chillau Atayate Tachilaha. Dhatu is Tayir. Okay, but this Dhatu is Tay already, apparently. Dhatu is Tay. Santana Patnayoho Supya Jato Ninihi. Yes, Uttekar Anupasargeti Yuktam Tada Bhashu Sarvasikrutaha. Yes, but this is not a Yuk Agamaha there. Apparently this Dhatu called Tairu. So this Dhatu is already in Yakaranta. Atatayin. Yeah. There's no, the Dhatu is not Ta. Dhatu is not Ta. It's already Tai. So but yes, Ini has been used, same sutram. Supya Jato Ninistachilye, but there's no Yuk Agama there. Okay, now one controversy I want to mention quickly, I know time is running out, is this sutram, which is the Supya Jato Nistachilye, Supi. According to the Kashika, this Supi should not be this Upasarga. So what the Kashika says is that this 7 to 78, 3 to 78, 3 to 78. 3 to 78, she says that supiti vartamane punah subgrahanam upasarga nivrityartham. So right now we just use the word abhiyayin, we formed abhiyayi. According to Kashika, this should not be done, because the fact that specifically Pani says supi. So that means upasarga should not be included is what he says. And then he quotes some Vartikam, he includes some of them in there. But in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, Bhattoji said that is not correct. There are a number of words which are formed in this language, very well-known words. So Shishta Prayogaha, which use this Pratya Nini with a upasarga only, not with so that those otherwise we have to, how do we justify those words? So let me just quickly go to Kashi Siddhanta Kaumudi for a second and read you. Always read what Bhattoji has to say, because he is our Acharya. And Upanini is in the hoary past now. So right now our Adhunika Acharya is Bhattoji Dikshita. So when he makes a statement, we have to, why does he make a statement like that? So this is Sutra number 2988. And these statements stick in our head, something specific is there mentioned on this Sutra. Let me read you quickly what he says. 2988. Okay, 2988. He says that Iha Vritti Karena, means by Kashika Karena, Vritti Karena, Upasarga Bhinnaha Eva. Bhinne Eva Supi Ninir Iti Vyakhyaya Utpratibhyamangi Sarte Rupasankyanam Iti Patitam. So Kashika says that, Vrittikara says that should not be just Upasarga. And then he gives a Vartikam to include some of them. And Haradatta Madhavadibhish Chattadeva Anusrutam. And other later commentators like Haradatta Mishra and Dhatu Vritti also say the same thing. Tacha Bhashya Virodhad Upeksham. But that's not in keeping with the Mahabhashyam. So we should not go according to what Bhattoji says. And Prasiddha Shcha Upasargyapi Ninihi. He quotes many words which Nini has been used only Upasarge. Like Upajivin, Upajivi, who depends on somebody else for his livelihood. Anuyayi, here he gives Anuyayin, in fact, comes in this, but in Siddhanta Kaumudi, Anuyayi Vargaha. Then Visari, then Anujivi, all these words which are formed. So anyway, the controversy in the Sutram 3 to 78 is that according to Kashika, only Upasarga is not enough to use Nini, but Siddhanta Kaumudi says we can use that, so I think we can go ahead. The last thing is the word Abhut. Abhut we have done before in the class. This is Dhatu Bhu, but it's not the Lang Lakara. It become Abhavat otherwise. Abhavat. Abhut is the Lakara which is the Lung Lakara. Lung Lakara. Lung is actually the default in the past tense, but this is a classic case of the default is the least used. The default is the least used, is the default. Because Anadhyatane Lung, any past tense which is not of today, exclusively Lung should be used. Paroksha lit comes below that. So Lung is the least, well actually, honestly speaking, Lung is the most complicated. That's why it's used the least. Instead of Abhavat, we got Abhut. Because here the Shab Pratyaya doesn't come. Instead what we get is that, so Sutram is Lung itself, the Pratyaya Chli comes. The Chli becomes Sich by default. This is going to be the last lesson in the Wednesday class. The very last lesson in the Wednesday class is the Lung Lakara. Instead of Kartri Shab, Apavada comes Chi Lungi, and then the Chli Pratyaya comes, and the Chli becomes Sich by default. This particular case, the Sich takes look, because Gatistha Bhupa Gupa Bhubhya. So this is one of my favorite sutram of my teacher. Gatistha Gupa Bhubhya Sichaf Prasyapadeshu. Following these dhatus, Bhu is one of them. The Sich takes look. Entire Sich is gone. Last question is that, of course, we get Itascha, same thing as before, because Lung is a Nyat Lakaraha, the Ad Agamaha, Lung Lung Rung Shodataha. Last question is that, why does this tip not do the Guna Adesha for Bhu? By Sarvadhatika Ardhataka Yoho. Now you should ask all these questions. You know all these rules. because the specific nisheda is there. Gat is this one. I'm sorry. I put the wrong number. I'm sorry. I put the wrong number here. So this one is 7378 is 88. I think it is 88. Bhusu was tangi. If tingi, ting pratyaya follows, and then the bhu and su, they don't take the guna adesha. So the sarvadhatu ardhaka yoha is stopped. So this is bhusu was tangi. Bhusu eta yoho sarvadhatuke tingi pare gunoda bhavati abhut. That is the sutram. I have to make a quick correction. We'll do a translation. We'll stop for today. So sutram is bhusu was tangi. So sarvadhatuke tingi, sorry. Bhusu was tingi. So this is the wrong sutram here. I should put this one here and take this one back there. So this one is actually over here. So this is gatistha gupa bhubhya, look, and then this is bhusu stangi, that stops the guna adesha. Okay, abhut means became. Okay, let us bring in. You want to do this one, Vain? Nagaraji is here. Thank you, Nagaraji. But since Vain doesn't come that often, so we'll give him a chance. You there, Vain? Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us. Okay, now let me just make it. Okay, that. What is that?
Tam.
That is yat.
Yat. Oh, yeah.
Yat is that fact. That okay. The demons. Nairritaha. Posted.
Daduhu.
Her is tam.
Yes.
In the van, agre. Puraha. Who was mutilated in portions of her face. Luna, mutilation chinna, mukha vayava luna. And see the nice words commentary in the so karna adishu chinna. Was
by itself. Tad eva.
The was is abhut. It became was abhut.
Yeah.
Abhut. By itself is tadeva. Right? An ill omen.
Amangalam.
I put a document, by the way. Amangalam is straightforward. Na mangalam amangalam. Nai tatpur samasaha. And by no lopo nayaha, that nakara of nai goes becomes amangalam. Like abrahmanam, same thing, amangalam. Okay, ill omen is amangalam. To them, for them.
Tesham.
As they started against Ramaha.
Rama
Bhiyayina. Abhi, as they kind of went towards him, they approached him, they basically attacked him. Rama Bhiyayinam Tesham. Tadeva Bhuda Mangalam. You're not echoing now. How were you echoing before? You're not echoing now, you're fine.
I put the headset on now.
Good, that's a good way. Now you're perfectly, your sound is fine right now, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Actually, the headset is only for for me to hear.
But it stops the echo, Vain. It stops the echo.
For some reason, okay.
It stops the echo. No, so the headset is the way to go.
I'm having a really serious problem with the webinar on my computer. I'm using my wife's computer.
Okay.
On mine, I don't get any. There's tremendous static. I can't hear you at all.
But this one is perfect right now. What you have.
This computer is good, but on mine I try to use the telephone, and the number they give is wrong.
It's possible.
It doesn't go through. Yeah.
Possible. I use the headphone myself, so it works fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the Mangalacharam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhutume Bhorama Mudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana Undamaiti. How do you, Nagaraji is here, I'm sorry, yes. Yes, Nagaraji.
Just a request.
Yes.
I'm able to attend the Saturday classes now because it's not now affecting the other classes that I take.
Good.
So can I